Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily stock market review for the trading day ending Monday, September 19th. Firstly to the S&P 500 on the weekly charts, and the second last candle on the chart here is the week that has closed. We see a white-bodied candle forming, support coming in down at the 2119 level, previous area of resistance. And the white-bodied candles suggest that the strong negative momentum from the previous week's trading is no longer there, and the buyers have attempted to build some momentum. Now, they have been able to close above the 2134 level, but a major loss of commitment during the week, as evidenced by this largish type shadow on the top of this candle, and it represents the buyers losing commitment above the Tenkan Sen resistance. The Tenkan Sen at the moment trades at 2156, and we see on this current week that is developing that we have tested to the Tenkan Sen once again, and we are seeing some rejection from there. So that's going to be our benchmark moving forward in the short-term time frame. If we do close above that Tenkan Sen for next week's trading, or in coming weeks, we certainly could see the market attempting back up towards these highs around the 2193 region. Importantly, price action remains above the benchmark Kijun Sen, and the market is in a downtrend, and if we do trade down through some of these support areas, and importantly that round number 2100 level, we have the Kijun Sen trading just below there around 2092, and that will be a very, very important area of support, or very important if the market does break out to the downside down below there. Now, as we know, that Kijun Sen will be an important first warning of a potential strong downtrend. Certainly not the ultimate indicator of any strong and important downtrending activity. As always, our Ichimoku Cloud on the weekly charts is our most important indicator of downtrending activity in a longer term time frame, and for a primary bear market. And as mentioned many times previously, even just trading activity down below doesn't mean that we will automatically have a downtrending, primary downtrend form. We see a certain type of activity with bearish breakout, usually a retracement, and then strong bearish follow through to the downside. And that's exactly what we saw as we saw this prior downtrend in 2008, and haven't seen that since. And we have broken out through the cloud previously, but we haven't had the required follow through to the downside in a bearish manner, and we haven't seen important previous areas of support taken out. So still at the moment a long way away from the Ichimoku Cloud, so a long way away from any confirmed significant downtrending activity. To the bands, and the bands certainly aren't looking bearish at all in the weekly time frame. We are trading around the middle of the bands and finding support there for this week. We do need to continue to monitor there, 2127. If we close in a bearish manner below there, we could end up trading down to the lower band, 2079, where we're likely to find some strong support coming in. If the market does attempt to rally, watching the upper band, 2175, as potential resistance, but also looking for a breakout to the upside in a bullish manner for further upside development of the uptrend that this market remains in. It is a weak uptrend. We are trading above the middle of the bands, but certainly in the medium term time frame, an uptrend in place. Now, just looking to the daily charts with the S&P, and today we've seen the market testing to the top of the Ichimoku Cloud once again and being rejected from there in a black body candle. Sellers taking control on an uptrend, so a candle forming a higher high and a higher low, and it does suggest that there is potential for this market to move lower. Important support coming in at 2134. And that will be an area that we do need to monitor. If we close down below there, could very easily test to 2125, possibly down to the previous support area at 2119. But really more important would be the area around the top of the cloud, roughly about 21.53, and with the Tenkan-Sen trading there today, it did hold as a fairly strong resistance. Also, just bearing in mind, just above there around 21.56, we have the Kijun-Sen trading, which may offer even stronger resistance if the market does test out through the top of the cloud. Importantly, in the longer term time frame, the market is neutral by trading within the cloud, and we have been neutral for probably about the last week or so, and just slightly bearish in the medium and fast term time frames, which is supported by the Chikas band by being below the corresponding price action. Just looking at this little congestion area that the market's trading at the moment, and could be forming something of a flag type pattern, and as always we need a trend leading into the pattern, and here we see that trend leading to the downside. It's a downtrend, and flags do tend to be continuation patterns, so watching that bottom barrier for a close outside of it, and then it does suggest that there is potential for further downside if we do close down outside of that lower barrier. The problem with any continuation pattern and off this congestion area flag type pattern would be that anywhere down through to the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud we have potential for support, and it does really suggest that any target that we may have on a breakout to the downside below the pattern may be very unreliable. So as a continuation pattern, not reliable, probably more reliable as a reversal pattern, as that we could see the market break out through the top of the Ichimoku cloud and through some of these Ichimoku indicators such as the Kijun-Sen and the Tenkan-Sen. Moving next to the Nasdaq 100, and for this week's trading, the Nasdaq was quite bullish. We have a fairly large white body candle testing up towards these highs around the 4816 level, and for this current week the market has tested above there, and we are seeing some rejection from above there. Importantly, the market was unable to close above this area. We look at all the shadows here, and even for this week's trading that has concluded, we see a shadow on the top and rejection from there. So 4816 is a very, very important area of resistance for the Nasdaq. Importantly, support coming in down at the 4659 previous resistance level, and down below the Tenkan-Sen indicator, and the Tenkan-Sen is very, very important to the Nasdaq 100. We have continually closed above there for at least the last 2.5 months or so, and we will continue to monitor that as an important benchmark, and at the moment for this week it trades at 4746. Importantly, we do have a bull market in all three time frames, supported by the Chikas band on the weekly charts for the Nasdaq 100. And just looking at the bands here with the Nasdaq 100, and we continue to trade outside of that upper band, and for this week we've bounced out of there. We closed back within the bands for the previous week. Sellers in control, and the buyers have come in and closed with very strong control, and this suggests that there is a good possibility of the market trading higher. At the moment, in this new candle that is forming for this week, we are seeing support come in at the upper band at 47.84, so continuing to monitor that area. If you do trade down through into the bands for the close of this week, we could end up mean reverting back to the middle, but there is a good possibility of the buyers resuming here and taking this market through these highs that we're establishing around 48.43 level. And to the daily chart with the Nasdaq 100, and as we tested to this new major high 48.43 through this 48.16 region, we have seen some strong rejection here today. This is the strongest black body candle we've seen for the last week. Sellers in control, and this suggests that there is a possibility of the trend just moving lower for this week's trading. We are technically in an uptrend in the first term time frame. This current candle is an outside day in bar chart terms, and it's a potential bearish engulfing pattern, so looking for confirmation of a change of trend. If we do see the market test lower, looking to the Tenkan-Sen at 47.50 to hold a support, and then the area just below there at 47.37. Importantly, in terms of Ichimoku, we do have a bull market in all three time frames, and the Kijun-Sen trades at the area that the Tenkan-Sen is trading at as well, and it does strengthen the potential support around that area if the market does test to there. And just looking at the bands here with the Nasdaq 100, and for the past few trading days the market has been finding resistance above the upper band, and following that bearish breakout, lack of follow through didn't confirm the downtrend in the medium-term time frame, but it does cause some concern, the inability of the market to close above that upper band. Importantly, support coming in at the middle of the bands. Let's monitor that middle band for downside activity, monitor the bottom band at 47.50, 47.49 for support, and if we break out to the downside with a bearish candle, with strong bearish follow-through, taking out this swing low around 46.55, we could see significant development of a medium-term time frame downtrend on the daily charts.